Hey everybody, good morning. It's Sunday morning, early Sunday morning for me, and also for the Cados. You know, very small group of people hanging out. It's a Sunday, you know, so if you happen to be around your computer or it's crappy weather outside and you're hanging out, you know, you're hanging out with me on this dono makeup session. So what this session is strictly if I have a really wonderful day of dono boost, but I can't get through to it. Everybody knows I always get to it. I always make up the donos, usually within a couple days if I've got some dangling out there. So this is that day. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually start. There was a few donos that have been out now for a couple weeks, so I'm diving right into this. And we're going to start with It Snows in Australia, which I don't think he's in our chat, but everybody knows where they can go to find the VOD. There's two places actually. One is called Odyssey, and the other one is obviously my YouTube channel, so you guys know where that is. Anyhow, so let's do this. This is It Snows in Australia wants me to listen to the artist John Hopkins. The song is Welcome. By the way, I know that It Snows in Australia is not in the chat, but he is a very his love for music. I don't mean to talk to you like you're not here, but you're not here, so I'm going to talk to you like you're not here about you. Is so abstract and so wonderful, like really unique stuff. It's like when he pops up with tracks or he goes into Discord and shares things, I'm like, wow, check that out. You know, always on the mission for very unique creativity. Okay, let me go. Here we go. This is from It Snows in Australia. All right. That just cleared my chakras. Morning, DJ. Oh, it's called Music for Psychedelic Therapy. Great. Sounds like something that could be on Minecraft, huh? Kazi, I don't know if it's John Hopkins is actually the artist or is it a derivative of the medical center, if it's one of the same. I thought the same thing. You know what's unique about this is that it's causing an internal phase cancellation. You know if you know. But that's if you listen to music, and when you listen to music, you feel like a numbing motion happen because it's kind of phasing differently. Morning, Magma Velvet. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything for the rest of this listen, but as you listen to this, see if you can catch the moments of the phase cancellation, where it'll feel like a clustering of frequencies that'll kind of numb out for a second and then spread out. to say something. It also feels like you're walking through a Japanese garden with all the kind of meandering bells and stuff in the background, kind of like chimes. Right into pink noise. You know, considering this track is only 6 minutes long, you know, these are one of those tracks that, like you just said, Kazi, it's like it's a great way if you're open to the experience. That's an important thing to say. It's a great way to start your day or retune your day, you know, and that's the thing. You have to be open to the experience. I say that because, you know, a lot of people are as a modality, either don't understand it or don't go towards it. You might think it's woo-woo or weird or whatever the case is. I make a living in music. When I produce music, I'm producing mood-altering things that sometimes is applied to media, or it's just for good listening. You guys know my Sounds of Tranquility channel, right? Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's just the waves crashing. It doesn't matter. But this is one of those tracks that is really nice. For me, the experience at the beginning was a little like, because my brain goes into orchestral listening mode, and I start to figure shit out until I finally went, oh, wait a second, I just need to just chill. Let me just chill and just be a part of the track, because that's what it really calls for. And truth be told, outside of me talking about the weird little phase cancellation that might happen in your mind if you're listening, you know, in stereo, whether that is that is a planned place to go to in this track, the composer did that on purpose. One thing's for sure, when we all got to listen to it, even if you're not down for this, you definitely were like, now I'm ready for Meshuggah. You know what I mean? It definitely brings everything down to this blurry, just chill vibe, you know. So it snows in Australia. Thank you so much. You know where to find it. And I'll also, don't forget too, I also push the button on Twitch to publish it. You know, hopefully it doesn't get blocked. Okay. Let's go with Park Pal. Park Pal, are you in the house by chance? Let's see what Park Pal is coming in with. Park Pal would like us to listen to, hey buddy, how are you? How's the weather where you're at? That'll be my question for the morning. Anybody that pops in, how's the weather where you're at? This is, the artist is On a Friday. The song is New Generation. This is from an early demo tape of future multi-Grammy Award winners. Oh, that's cool. Fun to see how far they came. Can you place them? All right, guys, he's challenged us. He says it's rainy. Same thing with Kazi. He says it's rainy as well. Okay, so Park Pal has thrown down the gauntlet, and he is saying, let's see if we can identify who these artists might be from an early demo tape of future Grammy Award winners. So we're doing this. Let's go. Great thumbnail.
Check it out.
You got me, man. I have no idea.
Here comes the fat man. Another lack of your balls in the kids in the door. And the color comes down the layer with 16 million grazing cars.
Welcome to New Generation.
Bye.
Color addiction.
Can't tell.
Welcome to New Generation. Yeah. Color addiction.
As a demo, what I love about it is that, there's no emphasis on technique of recording or anything like that, so it's as raw and organic as it can get. Anybody have an idea? I'm reaching. Is that I don't really watch Grammys and stuff. Park Pal's making me think too hard in the morning.
Welcome to New Generation. Color addiction. Welcome to New Generation. Color addiction. Smile for the cameras, boys and girls.
I'm not getting it.
Welcome to New Generation. Welcome to the New Generation. Boys and girls. Oh, the color addiction. A whole new doorway of opportunity. Welcome to New Generation.
They're having fun doing the demo, that's for sure.
Color addiction.
All they use is this little light organ sound, that sequence bass into the sequence percussion here in this drum machine, and them singing. Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't get nothing out of it. I'm even looking at the titles thinking maybe there's a reuse of a title or something there. You're kidding me. It's Radiohead? Oh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. So this is early Radiohead. I wonder if it's out there anywhere. I mean, I wonder if it's out there on YouTube as a thing. Park Pal, I noticed you put this on your profile here, but wow, what a trip! That is so funny. But it doesn't. The thing is that I couldn't place the vocals because now that I say, I'm thinking, okay, Thomas Thorne or whatever his name is. Now I'm saying, did that sound like, I couldn't tell. Plus everything that Radiohead does is like really super eclectic or abstract or experimental. And this sounded like, you know, a couple guys just got a couple cans of Cheese Whiz and knocked out a demo, you know, while inhaling the O2 of the Cheese Whiz cans. One single mic with the drum machine, but that's how you did it, right? That's what demos were back in the day, you know, so... but I couldn't pull it, Kazi. I was like, you got me. That was a good one, Park Pal. You had me listening through the whole freaking thing. That's because I'm still like, who is it? Anyhow, thanks for being patient, Park Pal. I know that was lingering out there for a couple days here, Dono. I appreciate it. And so, all right, next up is Night 99. I always get this wrong, you know, when the profiles all blend together. This track is called oh no. This can't be 23 minutes. This is not happening. I'm kidding. But it's 23 minutes. Oh, nope. It is from 6 to 12 minutes on the 23. No, is it 20? I'm screwed. What is this? I don't understand. Okay, wait a second. This is the second fragment of the song I suggested. This is the main part, dark, noisy, shoegaze crescendo. Wow, that is great. I've never heard of that term. Have you guys ever heard of that term, crescendo? Crescendo instead of crescendo? It gets really extreme in terms of noise. So, geez. He says it's between 6 and 12 here, so hopefully he marked it here. All right, let's go. The genre is kind of a post-rock thing. But I kind of like that. Crescendo. Hey, Dorkathori, how are you? Well, let's see what this looks like, sounds like. Here we go. But the name of the band is Godspeed You, Black Emperor, and the song is Sleep. So we're going to be hearing a crescendo, as he likes to put. I like that. That was great that he put that in there. And this is the genre is post-rock. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I might have to pre-mark the... Oh, he started it for me at the right place. Okay, here we go. completely polar opposite way. It kind of reminds me of the John Hopkins track we listened to earlier, just the polar opposite energy. Now I get where the crescendo. So the saw sound comes from scraping the screwdriver on the guitar strings. How unique, I see that. Okay, so I can hear it. I love how the drum kit is really well ISO'd in a small room. The bass player's got a pretty sick pattern going there. Once again, these are one of those tracks that the pattern will repeat, but it really gives you that time to rinse in it, you know? Let it really marinate through your brain. Sounds like maybe this is like in the middle of the album, like a transitional track. Quite a few things going on back there. A little bit of a group bus fade. But what's really cool about what we're hearing now is you can hear what that complete arrangement is and how they're using the effects on this side as the answer back. With about a 3/4 second delay that rinses onto this side. So it'll go and listen to it reflect. Wow. Okay, I guess that was it. Wow, that was that. That was killer. No, he said only between like 6 minutes and 12 minutes. I'm not doing the whole 23. Yeah, that definitely was a whole, like, when you said crescendo, that was probably a one-word way to actually respond to listening to this, because that's all it was a constant build. I thought for myself, though, in the listening experience, coming off of that opening track with the John Hopkins, that was very like, hey, we get ourselves into a nice little pink noise kind of place and stuff, and very zen floaty, you know, flying through the clouds, blue skies, little blue planet below, life is good. To this was totally polar opposite. But in of itself, in the power of music, that's what music does. And I said that a little earlier in the stream, you know, music shapes moods. Now, the thing is about Godspeed You, is I know from a couple tracks I've listened to, they have an incredibly powerful, they have a very dedicated following. And I get it too, that this kind of music, at least in this little section you just showed me, there was a lot of little things that were happening there. You know, they kept on coming in and out as they were building, but they kept on coming in and out with little things. But the one thing that was the constant was that, you know, that kind of keeps you locked into it. If you find that maybe you're listening to it, or you have to listen per se, let's say you're sitting on this stream, this definitely is not your jam. Somehow, some way, you're still going, you know what I mean? That's just what, you know, that's just what music will do to you. It'll get in your head. Like back in the old days when they used to jam you up on a radio with the same track, you know, putting it on heavy rotation once an hour, before you know it, the song that you hate, you're whistling on your way to work, you know? So it's that kind. That's a little different, obviously, than what we just listened to, because this arrangement was built on that pattern and stuff like that. So anyhow, thanks, man. That was killer. And I know that Amon hanging in the back also, this was, I think I saw him saying this was, you know, one of his favorite bands and jams. So let's see now. Yeah, a droney sound too. That's right. It is. It's got that drone pulse, that pull, you know. All right, next up is Square Meal. Square Meal, happen you be here, happen to be you be here, you be here happily, happy, happen to be here. Square Meal, there you are. How you doing? So let's see what Square Meal wants to have us enjoy. Oh, this is a game, OST. Kunitsu-Gami? Kunitsu? Did I just really blow that pronunciation? Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess, the fierce rivalry. I'm sorry. It's morning time. You think my eyes are bad looking at this little font when I'm doing my regular stream in the morning? It's all kind of like takes a second for the letters to kind of come in focus. But come on, from a distance, this is you know my dyslexia and stuff. I'm on brand with that. Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. The name of the song is The Fierce Rivalry. And the message is from Square Meal. Aloha! Since you really enjoyed the last track from this game, I'm bringing some more. Most uploads I found were from before the official release of the soundtrack, so I put this together to get you in the full mix, combined with, not very skilled, gameplay footage from yours truly. Oh, good. Another one of those little package deals. Oh, good. I love that. All right, Square Meal. Thank you so much. I like these little multi thingies. Oh, no shit. Wow, trippy game, scary. You don't want to get in that web butt. The music's very raw, organic-y in the sense that set up the mics and go vibe. And I really like it. fusion metal-y, kind of Frank Zappa-ish, right? The ride, dang dang, dang dang dang. He didn't do it. Oh, right there. Christopher Walken showed up for a minute with his cowboy bell, then he fell on his face. Percussively, the arrangement is wonderfully disjointed. It's almost like they've, fully rocked up 70s prog fusion, but gave it more of a current metal-y vibe. How joyous it is that there's zero quantizing going on here. You know if you know. Dory, that's a good point. It does kind of fit with this. Oh, they killed a spider. It sounds like they're straightening out a little bit, the composition. It almost feels like this is a composition that could have been written and performed by that one band you guys have had me listen to a couple times. It's like the 4 Japanese guys that are into that more abstract rock experience. Like we've watched them live a few times. Forgot the name of them. I mean, but just adding the sax. Yeah, I think T-Square. This is a gnarly looking game. The all over the placeness of like the sax and stuff is, like you were saying, Mandrix, or Mandrix, that it has that gameplay, that boss fighting chaos-ish. Even going way out there in the scale play. Very anxiety driven, perfect for this boss fight stuff. Well, also, Kazi, we don't know where it sits in the mix in gameplay. Like, how far down is it? We have tendency, I've realized, tendency to lose some of the higher ends in gameplay when it's like things exploding and stuff. Fucking crazy. What a funky ass track. I mean, it was all over the place. It made sense, you know, if you have that experimental fusion brain, rock metal, rock fusion-y kind of all over the place. Once again, remember, it's a composer who's writing a track based on perhaps boss fighty type of interaction, which I think is what Square Meal is what you were saying. So it can be all over the place. And the other thing is as you saw Kazi and I going back and forth, Kazi, Jazzy, sorry, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. When we listen to a piece of music like this, how we're listening to it, and even though Square Meal, you were great enough, excuse me, wow, these body functions right now, in playing the game so we get some eye candy out of it. The truth be told is what Jazzy and I were talking about is the fact that, you know, listen to the music this way. If it is chaotic, it's all over the place. It's very discursive to the mind. My good, that other song, the crescendo to this, I don't know how we went from that full Zen, beautiful John Hopkins thing to now we're like, fire, fire. But nonetheless, that's the chaos it creates in the mind and stuff. But when it's blended in with the banging sounds of things exploding, I don't know anything about the game, Square Meal, so perhaps behind that, there's noises of the people going, ah, ooh, ah, you know, all the rest of the stuff. So where that gets sunk, it is pretty amazing on what happens to the music in a mix, you know. But I liked the track. It was really, it definitely played the role against the game. And I also liked the fact that it was just disjointed. It was raw playing, and I wouldn't doubt it if the composer was like, okay, percussion, you guys lay back just a little behind the beat, and you know, lead guitar and saxophone, just get mental, you know, just do whatever it is you want to do and just go, because there was time they weren't even in necessarily any particular key, and when they got close to a key, they were like, oh my God, we're making sense. No, pull up, and then getting outside of the box with their lead work, you know. So real cool though. I thought it was great, you know. And I was listening to all of the, like, even though I'm watching the game, I was really getting into the music, and so it was a killer track. Thanks, dude, and thank you for putting this together. You know, I'm beginning to enjoy that. You know, in my journey, is when some of the Kados here take the time and do that, because then I can put things together. So thank you, dude. Next up is Derpy Cat Dog. I don't know if Derpy Cat Dog is in the house. Let's see what we got here with Derpy Cat Dog. First of all, hi Jeebs. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Very kind of you to say. Thank you for coming in here and donoing and waiting. Unfortunately, I didn't get to your song in the first session. This is an artist called Mechina, and the name of the song is Bellum Interruptum. Sounds like a diagnosis of a bowel movement. Okay, here we go. I mean, that's not a dig against the song. I'm just saying that's a very unique title. All right, here we go. Wow, what just an eclectic bunch of music, one after another. This is now bringing me back to Hey. Oh, Bella means war. Okay, thank you. So currently then we're in Bellum Economim. Oh, all right, here we go. That poor kick drum. He was relegated to a little tick turd. I mean, but I understand that was. This is trap drums. This is, you know. And if it's not, no bass, but I like it. That gives him room to lean into it. I love the ambience and the metallic metal vibe, like a metalcore style ambience that's happening here. Yeah, Mandrix, it's like not too heavy, but it still is authentic to the metalcore kind of vibe, especially with the infused digital ambient work, sequencing, some sound design. Has a little bit of a symphonic metal vibe, especially with the vocals. Yeah, I agree with you, Kazi, but that poor kick drum is really bothering me. I mean, it doesn't take away from the song, but it's like there is no real bottom to this track, though. Like this. It's not that I don't like speedcore. What I'm talking about is just the sound of the kick. You know, beat blasts and stuff I'm down for and all that. Just the sound of the kick has got that punched up like 8K. I love that arpeggiation in the back there. Hey Lisa, good morning or afternoon. Hey Derpy, yeah, we're having a great time with your track. See the arpeggiation? That's the constant pull here. Even though it just lo-fied out. They're being very creative with infusing changes. Great guitar tone, but it almost sounds like the guitar has a synthy thing backing it up a little bit. But the overall vibe is really super powerful. So what I don't know if this is a band or an individual. Derpy, can you tell me? Because I just went to their Bandcamp and it kind of looked like it might be part of a game or a movie or something. I love this right here. Get me into the headspace. You know, the intentional of the hi-hat on this side, a lot of the ride work happening here, you know, that's indicative of, I mean, where it's well positioned and stuff, of, you know, trap work. And there's always, you know, there's two hi-hats battling, right? There's one in the middle, a little more lo-fi-ish, and then this side here. I like that. I love what's happening there. Plus, this track's putting me in a really good mood right now. Yeah, that's what it looked like, Turnip. So Skeletank, so then that, when I said that earlier, I kind of felt that. Remember I said it kind of felt kind of like that symphonic metal-y vibe, but yet, or it had some of the energy of that, but in its own unique way, infusing this ambient EDM vibe. What a great track, man. Bravo, man. Derp Cat Dog dropped in a banger on us, and you're right, it didn't even sound like 10 minutes went by, or it feel like 10 minutes, you know. The mix was, I think Kazi and I were talking about that a little earlier. The mix was a little high-endy, but I think that has to do, and that's not a bad thing. I think what I missed is a little something happening at the bottom. That's just my personal thing, like maybe like a low drone or something that would come in. So it was kind of a, it was kind of peaking more of my mid to upper mid range earballs, if you would, on in the listen. And also because, like I pointed out before, the trap drum work and stuff like that, that has a tendency to kind of push a little bit more of the higher end of the frequencies. You know, unless you make an absolutely, like for instance, you could have taken this exact mix, and what I'm saying here is not a. I love the track. The composer did a great job, and it definitely gave me the feels that I think it was intended to give me. But thinking as a composer, because that's where you could, or if you're going to pull a little like possibility out of what could have been done, is that you could take the same exact track. And if you do a pass filter, or is it low pass? Yeah. And actually scooped off from like 12K to 16, it could have warmed up the track a little bit without adding the bottom. You know, so I mean, these are all kinds of things that I'm learning. I've done in the past to actually save mixes of old mixes of mine going, oh my God, this sounds so thin. What am I going to do? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll cut that off right here. But, you know, through this journey that I've been on for the last few years, you know, listening to music, I'm kind of going, oh yeah, that could be resculpted and all. But that's like taking a Picasso and going, well, if I would have used a drywall spatula instead of a brush, I could have made the clouds do this. I'm just rambling because that's just what I do. Oh, okay, hang on for a second. Yeah, the whole discography is a sci-fi storytelling. Ah, I see. Okay. They did a great job. Even the artwork. I was like, you know, sometimes when you listen to a long track, if you have a good thumbnail, it's mesmerizing. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, for all of us old farts that are here, how many of you were totally mesmerized when Elton John came out with that album? I think, now I can't remember the name of the album, but had all those weird cartoon characters on it. You know, I don't know if it was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road or something like that. But if you guys remember that album cover, you know, back in the day when you bought albums and, you know, there's these hidden things there and you could sit there and you listen to the whole album. You have no idea. You just listen to the whole album because you're looking for the weird shit, you know, kind of like Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti apartment thing. Remember that? How many of you guys remember Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti album, for those of you who do? Yes, Captain Fantastic. Thank you. That's what it was. Thank you, Creep. But the Physical Graffiti, do you remember they in the Physical Graffiti album, they had a little pulley thing so that the windows would close or shut? You know? Remember that? Was it that? It's like, those were the days. In the 1900s. Back in the 1900s, we used to have album sounding like an old whiny fart boomer. Okay, next up, CNC Freak. Let's see what CNC Freak would like. This track is from, it's a band or is it an artist? I don't know. Mo Shop, Jamie Page, and Shiki-TMNS. The name of the song is Love Taste. Song goes hard, but it's a little vulgar. LOL. Okay. Welcome to my show. Welcome to our show. We're a little loud and vulgar. Jamie Page produced the vocals, Mo Shop made the track, and Shiki does the rap. I hope everybody enjoys. All right, guys, we're apparently in for some ride here. If it's based off of this thumbnail, you tell me. Support the vinyl, Park Pal. Man, I'm really vibing on this. I can't hear the lyrics, so I don't know. I can't make them out, so I don't know if it's being vulgar or dirty, but the vibe is great.
Girl, test my love every single last drop. Won't be satisfied, baby, till you begging me to stop. Oops, there you go, it's that boy again. I mean, that cocky motherfucker, all he do is win. I mean, that empty sense of love, come inside my undercover, fuck around and put that rubber, those feet of it like another. Oh my God, that's the mean. These cars on that lane, they say when they hear my voice, it's like promethazine. They fiend when I make them moist, dripping through their veins. So I slurp them up and don't stop until they clean. Shawty getting rough, she cut me, don't give a fuck.
I can make out the lyrics here.
She drugged and tied me up. Good thing I'm a savage, so simple, always manage. Flip up the script, leave it pinned out to the mattress. Get you till I die, these are molars, call me senpai. Girl, I'm young the race, suck your blood till it runs dry. Staring at those legs, getting tranced by those die highs. Being hypnotized, so enthralled by those boy eyes.
I love the drum programming, the loop they use there.
My voice is sexy, I don't care what you say. I know one thing, shit, they all love you like I do.
I just looked to see if I hit a button, if I slowed the track down. Shit, that was great. I also love the bass patch. See what's magic about this too? That drum programming for the first 3 of the 4 bars is allowing space because it's just saying square until the turnaround. See, turn up. What a great track. I found it to be really, I mean, you know, when you said it was going to be a little vulgar, I was leaning into it thinking, okay, I'm going to hear it. You know, the very first vocals past the female voice, it was, you know, kind of doubled and pulled back in the mix. So I was going, okay, well, let me just listen to the music. Really great things about this track is something that Turnip and I kind of simultaneously said, because we have ESPN, is that the bass composition, the arrangement of the bass was fun and bouncy, and I love the tone. That was just a great bass tone. But what happened is that in the drum programming, it was just, you know, really square. Boom, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, go ba, boom, 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 or whatever that turnaround part of the arrangement was. But it gave enough room for the bass to be a boom, 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 which has kind of more of a 70s funk vibe. But something else for me that I really enjoyed is they had this repetitive sample that had this kind of fade at the end of the, excuse me, you know, so the sample velocity was on, you know, spot on, but wow, 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 that's how an old man describes that, old composer. I don't know how he would describe that. But I thought the track was badass, and it wasn't that vulgar. I was just thinking, all right, this is today, and this is what it is. You know, God knows we've heard some stuff on this stream, but I thought this was a great listen. I dug it. It kind of gave me a nice little vibe. These last 2 tracks, you know, between Bella Interruptum and this one here, I'm like, hey, I'm ready for my Sunday. I got to go to the bike shop today because blew out the back tire of my bicycle. La 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 la. Literally, I shit you guys not. La 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 la. I'm on the bike pad, and poof! What the hell was that? And somehow, whatever I ran over, and how the tire blew out, actually the innards came out of the tire. So I had to get it fixed. Sorry, I digress. My life story. Okay. Next up, Da Peebs. Let me see. Backpack chicken in the house. What do you want to, let's see. Somebody said, when do you get to join? Wait, stand by. Oh, you mean like put a song in or something like that? I have the form not on today because I'm just doing dono makeups. But on Friday, I'll have the form out and you can come in and hang out and put your song in there. We spin the wheel. Everybody say hi to Backpack Chicken. That's a new Cado here. So let's see what the Peebs wants. Oh, guys, we're going for it. We're getting into our head some Dance Gavin Dance. Are you guys ready for some Dance Gavin Dance? Let's see what we got here. Doesn't even give me a breakdown of what's going to happen, but we're doing this. You guys ready? Let's go. A little bit of a math rock vibe with the guitars. Yep, Dance Gavin Dance. They're gonna dick around with you this way. So freaking talented. Listen to the bass player. He's got it on Ghost Pepper. two separate arrangements, but coming together so well with the guitar. Ooh, love this. It shows you the depth of the musicianship and the arrangement skill and the creativity. Snook Hook, is there such a thing as swancore? Or is that just a made up kind of fun thing? Using that wah, let's get in there. Guy's got a great clean voice. Super smoky. A little bit of a fry up there. That would be like a Steve Vai move. I mean, coming from an old man's point of view. They have no problem jamming you up with two separate arrangements. Bruh. That's my total reaction to it. Bruh. No, they, with their arrangements, by the way, Snook Hook, thank you very much for kind of filling me in on what swancore is, kind of reading that there. I appreciate it. So what Dance Gavin Dance does for me is every time I listen to them, it's almost like getting, when I listen to a song from Between the Buried and Me, or Avenged Sevenfold, and so you just never know what you're going to get. You know, that's that box of chocolates. You know, that's the Forrest Gump. You never know what you're going to get. You know, you can open the box. It might say metalcore experimental, but stuff you just know you're in for an experience. That has to do with the base of the musicianships. You know, the one thing about this track, that was a nice little rhythmical change up too. They cleaned up and got, when the vocals got really clean. But the pull for me is that in this particular composition, the guitar players, the arrangements they did, they had no problem with playing just far out there arrangements. You know, obviously within the key of the track, it wasn't out of the box, but kind of like an unsculpted pattern. You know, instead of maybe like an arpeggiation or some kind of pattern that they would lock, this guitar player would lock, and would be a little more all over the place, almost like doing a light solo, kind of like winging it. While this side, this guitar kept into a little bit more, even though the arrangement was completely different and never really settled in, whether it was the wah pedal or something like that, this had a little bit more of the less than solo vibe. This conversation's going, and right down the middle, that conversation's going, which is the vocalist. By the way, has a great... super, you know, his clean tone. It feels like it's almost like a little bit of a merge of two parts of more of his discursive, you know, throaty, you know, pig squealing. I don't know what we call it anymore. I forget. I've said it so many times I forget. But this was I have to say this was what I expected that I didn't expect, that I knew what I was going to expect by not expecting it when you listen to a Dance Gavin Dance track. So yeah, that's my thoughts. And it's done fairly well. Yeah, a couple million views. They have a very, very loyal fan base. You have to have a certain ear. I think most of you would admit you have to have a certain kind of ear for bands that are going to express that way, or listening capability, you know, or heroic dose of whatever you're on. Let's see, Nikrito, you are up next. We're doing, some anime. We're going to go right into a whole different world here. But then you never know what you're going to get when you open up that box of chocolates. So we're going to be listening to something from Cowboy Bebop. This track is named Blue, and it has no real description here, so let's just go for it. Let's get some Cowboy Bebop in the house. And you know this is probably going to be completely different than Dance, Gavin, Dance. I'm just saying. Little angelic choral duet. Ooh, nice.
Never seen a bluer sky. Yeah, I can feel it reaching out and moving closer. There's something about blue.
Yeah, it has that moment where you hold up your cell phone light and you're,
Ask myself what it's all
or my day,
for.
the lighter.
You know the funny thing about it, I couldn't answer.
Has kind of a Kate Bush
No, I couldn't answer.
tone to the voice.
Things are turning deeper shade of blue. And images that might be real, maybe.
Listen to the meandering of the bass.
Keep flashing off and on.
I like that. That minor gives you hope, gives you hope, gives you hope, and then well done, I love that. Listen to that bass. Thanks.
Don't wake me from the dream. It's really everything that's seen.
All that discursive arrangements in the back and its ambient vibe is giving you that calming yet cathartic. Little dissonant stuff happening in the back. It's an unsettling release, yeah? But can you guys make out what the constant is? Through the whole track. What arrangement? Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. See that arpeggiation in the back? Now it faded.
Everything is clearer now. Life is just a dream, you know, that's never ending. I'm ascending.
What a great track. This whole stream has been a seesaw of eclectic emotions. I thought it was a beautiful track. I loved how the composer and those chord changes threw that minor in there to kind of throw you off because you're thinking that you're on a very released. Look at the even the thumbnail kind of gives you that, like, I'm in the clouds exploring through experience, but yet still. What's really unique about this thumbnail that I'm looking at, it's one of those, I don't know if this intended to be a trick thumbnail, but what's the cloud? Is it dark clouds with an open space of clarity, or is it the white clouds with more bluer sky? So that, I think, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's my brain working. Maybe I'm attaching things that aren't there, but I'm seeing things. But how does that thumbnail kind of represents how the arrangements were? Like, am I going through, what phases am I going through in this listening process? And, what I want to pull back to, I'm going to actually drop this back because I did ask the question, and then as soon as I asked it, it dropped out. Listen for the pattern that you'll hear. It's high up there. It's almost like a muted, it's kind of like a muted mallet pattern that was through the whole track, even through all the chord changes. But I'll see if I can. Listen, it's pinging too. It's pinging the 16ths. So that's where it ended in the mix. So that pinging 16th in that pattern, so the octave lower would be went through the whole track. That would be, in substitute of what we may call the drone. You know what I mean? Through that whole thing. So that was what was happening in the background. That's that one kind of, it's the one piece of magic in songwriting that I'm pretty sure that 85% of listeners, even if you're an orchestral listener or you get into it, a lot of times when I talk about these patterns that are repetitive, or what I might sometimes jokingly say, the zip line of the track that kind of keeps you centered, sometimes those things could actually disappear. But they've been playing for, let's say, a minute and a half, and that pattern now rents space in your head, and the association of that arrangement all of a sudden becomes part of it in there, even though it's pulled away. And the fact that you might have it in your head, a pattern going, it's starting to lock in, you could pull it out of the mix. It's still going in your head, but also in the mix, in the let's just say in the psychological mixing pattern, that now if I pull that little sequence away, opens up the space to kind of play around with different arrangements in there, but still keeping that pattern in play. I don't know if any of what I just said made sense. It's just more of a, like, composer mixy kind of vibey thing, like, ooh, watch what happens if I do this. So anyhow, this was a beautiful track. Really quick, I'm going to make a call out to two people here. Tonto Corazon or a Coral Reefer. Are you by chance in the stream? By chance, are you in the stream? Because I know that Tonto Corazon comes here, I believe, from Argentina. And a Coral Reefer did make a fairly sizable donation, so I'm pretty sure he wants me to be there with him while listening to the track. So I'm going to actually save those two tracks then for Friday. And so I hope you don't mind, but truly it's in being courteous of you guys and knowing that you'd like to be with me in listening to the track. So I hope you don't mind. So we'll see you Friday on your two. So I actually have a little bit of time left. So why don't we do a little bit of Skeletank, if there was a dono, I've done all the donos already. So it might be, I just activated this morning the Twitch stream that I did in the 2 2-hour sessions. I just activated that, and then I'm going to cut the VOD over in the next 2 days and pop it up on the YouTube channel. So you may want to check there. If not, I can have one of my mods take a peek. So if it's not there and you don't find it there, please let us know. All right, guys. Let's. Since I am doing Cheesy Wheel now, I can do at least 2. What time is it? Yeah, I can do at least 2, maybe even 3, depending as long as they're not over 7 minutes, obviously. I'm going. Yeah, can you the request? I'm going to take my pinned thing down here really quick. Stand by. Unpin the message. So right there, Cycloid just popped the link right there. So I'm gonna take a minute and just talk bubbles. So if you want to hurry up and get your opportunity to get into the forum, remember nothing over 7 minutes, please. And I'm just gonna take a minute and do that. And oh yeah, people are coming in with the forum. Okay, cool beans. We're good. So guys, check this out. While we're waiting for some forum people, so off subject matter. But I came up with this idea. This is just a bizarre. Maybe it's just something I'll do on my positive wave writer. Remember, this is completely off the music thing. A friend of mine is in transition of, he got rid of his house and the whole thing. And he's gonna move back maybe to Los Angeles in a little bit and start some stuff. And we're talking about, what are you going to do? You're going to rent? And we're talking about, guy, when you rent a place right now, first, last, security, got to start up the electricity and stuff. You got to build, the whole thing. You got to go through a lot when you move into a place. And I started thinking, I said, bruh, we can hack that to pieces. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, use Airbnb or VRBO. Right now, the market is crashing so fast with Airbnb and VRBO that remember, if you get into an Airbnb or VRBO, electricity's on, internet's supplied. Airbnb and VRBO now do not require a security deposit or first last security, that whole spiel. So it's almost like a move-in hack. And because the inventory is so extraordinary now, and since the Airbnb VRBO movement has been, there's a lot of investors that are sitting on donut holes. So it's like, almost like wherever you live, like this might be a thing, just something to think about. Wherever you live, like look for Airbnb and VRBOs in your area. Okay, now they're gonna be a little higher than, let's say, what you might be renting in a 1-bedroom place. But remember, that's going to be also, electricity is included and stuff, but it's like go and move in. Of course, you don't tell the people, I'm thinking of going long term, but I need to be here for 6 months or something and maybe work out a deal, Yes, of course, if you can afford it too, that's that thing. But if you really think about it, let's say you're moving into a $2,000, 2-bedroom apartment, and you have to do first, last, and security. So what is that? First, 2,000, last 4,000, security is going to be about $1,000. Then you've got to turn on the electricity and pay monthly your utilities. Instead of like maybe you going into a place and not having to really worry about the utilities, I know there's going to be some sides where people who are going to think about it say, yeah, but this could be a problem later. Or, what if you can't work out a deal? It's, okay, that's true. But I'm just saying there are obviously the things that will be a little like, sounds like a short-term fix, but I'm sure that there are going to be other things that off the top of my head, since I just thought of it. And he actually did it. He got a 2-month deal in Los Angeles for a time that might give him time to find a place to live that's acceptable, but at least he can move in. His internet is up, his air conditioning and everything is good, so I don't know. I was just thinking, I was just thinking because it's fucking dangerous when I start thinking. Oh, shit. All right. I think we've had enough people now inside the Wheel of Cheesies. Yeah, Wilbury, that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a hack like that, in the sense that it's a long-term thing. It could be, because there's a lot of people who are trying to flow out of that Airbnb vibe, because things are changing so much. Now they're open to the possibilities, like, that's what I get. Okay. No, actually, Mandrix, there's, or who wrote that? Was it somebody had mentioned short term? Right now, from what I understand, they're open to long-term stuff because they're suffering the short-term losses now since the economy's changed and Airbnb and VRBO is no longer that cool thing, you know, or that you know, kind of part of the adventure thing, you know. So, all right, let's get into some music, guys. I have time for some Wheel of Cheese. Oh, that was very kind of you, DMT. Thank you very much to say. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. And I hope you're doing well. Okay. Let's go. Wheel of Cheese time. Okie dokie. That's not the wheel. That's not the population of the wheel. I'm going to populate now. Okay. Nope. Noob wheel is not fixed. Which really... it's not a big deal. Plus, you're legacy, dude. So your stuff, your requests will end up on the big wheel. Okay, stand by. Let me refresh the information. And here we go. Let me. Oh, there we go. Everybody gets a chance here. This isn't too queso pobre. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, you guys ready? Let's spin. I know, right? We can actually read your names. All right, here we go. I should have queso nubo for Friday. Okay. Oh, come on. Hang on a second. Wait a second. What in the falala? Oh, you know if you know. You know if you know. Yes, I don't stop. I have zero power. If you know this spinning wheel URL thing, it's like what it is. Great. Okay, it is what it is. Right, Mason? You've been hanging out a long time. I remember you were like, no, it's missing by that much, by that much, by this much, by that much, by this much. I think the wheel gods, the cheesy wheel gods, have blessed you once again. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, shit. That's hilarious. You know if you know, right? Let's see what Mason wants. Mason wants... Okie dokie. Mason wants... This track is an artist called Vocatief. Okay, I'm going to get this wrong. Heyr, Himna, Smirder. It's an Icelandic hymn. So it looks like it's going to be a vocal performance. Please straighten me out if it is. Oh, good. Okay, of course I am. Music is music, man. Let's go. A hemina. It's a hem. You get it? A hemina. Forget it. I'm just an idiot. Here we go. Stupid. The power of a cathedral reverb. Oh, that way the bass vocalist is carrying in this. that it? Absolutely beautiful. You know, the unique thing with smaller a cappella choral arrangements, and I spent 3 years studying classical choral arrangements, figuratively and literally, also by being 3 years not only in a choir during my high school years, but also in the Separated Chamber Singers, which was a touring group, and I was a first tenor. So I spent a lot of time listening. As a matter of fact, that 3 years dramatically, it could have been trauma too, influenced my arrangements, how I arrange what I arrange, that with also the lessons that I learned from my father, et cetera, et cetera. What's beautiful about this particular piece is it's a great expose on ascending and descending arrangements at the same time, as well as very close clustered harmonic support, which really runs off of an era of a lot of resolves, massive resolves going on through the whole arrangement. Fourth, second, ninth, things, you know, minor, it just goes on and on and on. And considering too, it sounded like, because by accident, maybe the engineer maybe fell or bumped the mic stand or something at one point. It sounded like we're putting the mic back here halfway up the, you know, whatever you call the row where all the chairs are and stuff like that. And we're just going to be using the purity of the reverb from the cathedral. And it actually looks like a small cathedral. And I'm not too sure if I'm doing that. Is a cathedral when does it go from a church to a cathedral? Like how many square feet or how high has something to be? But this was a beautiful, beautiful example of arranging choral composition and stuff and singing. The ultimate instrument right here, the voice, is the ultimate instrument. We use it every day. We sing every day. I've said this to you guys before. I've said this to you now, Bueller, that even in how we speak, the cadence in our tone, we're like birds. When you hear birds sing, we have our own way of talking, and it's all very melodic, and it could be, you know. So anyhow, that really got me. Mason, that was great. I'm glad it landed on you with this particular. I mean, I'm glad that I got this particular listen from you because that kind of brought me back into a nostalgic vibe. And as a composer and arranger, it really lit off all my neurons, just started firing and kicking. So thanks, dude. But you did. So, you know, go to Vegas, bro. Because you right now, the luck's on your side. Okay, let's do one more. Let's go back to Wheelie of Cheese. And let's see who we got here. Oops, I just douched that thing. Hang on, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Alrighty. Okay, can you see your name? Are you there? I can see everybody. This is pretty quick because I think this is a good representation of the Kados here. Okay, guys, are you ready? Here we go. I know when I am. I just all of a sudden, when did he show up? Okay. Verex. Depending on the length of this song, I might be able to do one more after this. Let's see what Verex wants. Verex wants us to listen to a band called The Handsome Devil. Is that a band? The name of the song is Time Machine. The message is, one of my favorite bands of all time. It's a band. Very loose with genres. He has pure rap albums under the name God Forbid. And this band, The Handsome Devil, goes through jazz, lounge, dubstep. I almost read that as desktop. You know, a rock, 60s, beach vibes, etc. Great for an ADHD mind like ours. He says like mine, but you and I, we're stimming. Most of the popularity came from the two Guitar Hero rock band tracks in the early 2000s. The singer is a bartender, 10 years, with female background vocals and a lot of songs by his friends. Princess Problems. All right. Well, Verex kind of tagged on two things, a bartender and ADHD. And so let's do this. All right.
What have you done? Thousands of years of building and rebuilding, creating and recreating so you can let it crumble to dust. 1,000,000 years. The sensitive men dying for their dreams. For what? So you can swim and dance and play.
Sounds like the record company.
So it's that I messed up. All these little choices made, and this is how it ends up. So I built this out of whiskey and television pieces to keep the past and future both well within our reaches. Turn the ticking of the clocks back with some shit that I learned in shop class. It's been a while since we talked about that. I know that it's a lot to ask. I just built a fucking time machine, rewind through the times that you lied to me. I just built a fucking time machine. Really, it's hard.
You hear what the bass is doing? It's so cool. It's descending.
Together with a soldering iron. When I take a trip, I can feel a part of me dying. But I go back till there's no
Oh, it didn't that time.
regrets. Till you didn't know me yet, to me and you were only love.
I should save the trees and the Kennedys, but the dead just let them be. I forget the memories of everything you ever said to me eventually. I should say Martin King Jr. Let freedom's bells ring sooner. I won't let her go, I cling to her. Forget who you think you were.
Forget where I am. Can't get there again. I like this better before. Wherever it was, wherever we were, I guess I'll never be sure. I just built a fucking time machine. You guys will say, close my eyes, rewind the scenes. The times that you lied to me. I just built a fucking time machine.
The vocal performance gives me a Primus vibe. Or that part of this. This is sexy as hell.
To preserve, to disturb, or to not say a word. Look at me again, the way you looked at me back then.
I should save the whales and the dinosaurs. And we'll all have tails on our spinal cords. I should save the
I like that old
aliens for the style
sweepy analog synth in the back there.
Saving up to selling saviors in the aisles of every store.
I just built a fucking time machine. Rewind through the times that you lied to me. I just built a fucking time machine. Really, it's hard. It's fine with me. I just built a fucking time machine. You guys will say it's hard, girl. It's fine with me. I just built a fucking time machine. Rewind through the times that you lied to me.
To preserve, to disturb, or to not say a word. Kiss me like it's all wedding. Hold me like it's all ending.
That minor 7th cluster.
Or to not say a word.
That's the only chord the T-Rex can play.
We'll see how forever goes.
Sorry.
Let it all undo. There's no going back to you. Let it all unravel and dance on the strings until I can't feel a thing. Let it all undo. There's no going back. We're through. Let it all unravel and dance on the strings until I can't feel a thing. Let it all undo. There's no going back to you.
The inside joke, Hollies. Sweet track, man. That got me on the more, vibing with some of the older style. Since I'm far from having any real major depth on different styles of the rap thing, but this had that kind of like jazzy fusion-y or kind of acid jazzy little weirdness and loopage and stuff going in there. I know the great thing is that with this kind of music, you could be a lot more sexier with firing off different loops. And that in of itself is a form of composition I've never been able to. It's just, I don't feel it, so it doesn't come to me naturally. And therefore, I've tried to do tracks like that in the past for publishers, when I get requests to do music library stuff. They liked what I did, but I never felt as though it was a hell of a lot of work. Whereas people who write this kind of music have that ingrained, incredible, talent to make these loops pop in and out and make sense and stuff. And then that one more aggressive part of the vocals and stuff did remind me of Les Claypoolish kind of vibe. Okay, look, I have time for one more spin. Okay, I thought I was going to have time, but I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. So I got time for one more spin of Wheel of Cheese today. And then I do have to dig out. Let me refresh everything. Bonus cheese. Yes, bonus cheese. Bonus cheese. Thank you, Varix, for that. Okay, here we go. Bonus cheese. Let me get the rig up for myself to repopulate it. And let's see what we got here. Oh, shit. Job opening. Standby. I so suck. There we go. Okay. Let's see who we have. And we actually have a couple of new people, it looks like, that may not have been here before. But okay, you guys ready? Let's go. We spin. Nothing over 7 minutes. Here we go. Oh. Bruh, this is another one who's won a couple times in the last couple weeks. My goodness. Oh, wow, my goodness. My goodness. This is really super cool. All right, Scorpius. I don't know if Scorpius is in the house, but Scorpius, you win us. Scorpius, win us. Let's see what Scorpius wants. Okay. See if I remember. There he is. Scorpius is in the house. Lucky you, yeah, second time in the last week or so. Let's see what Scorpius wants us to listen to. Is all right. So I don't know if this is a video game. There's no real message there. So Scorpius, why don't you type in the chat what it is we're listening to? But the name of the band artist is Shallow Gravy. I don't know if that's relationship to Grenades in the Gravy, and the name of the song is Jacket. A lot of people like that track when I posted it on YouTube. All right, here we go. It's a band from a TV show, okay.
Yellow jacket, street jacket, smoky jacket, full metal jacket, black jacket, leather jacket, varsity jacket, it's Brock's jacket, puffy jacket, bulletproof jacket, Trek jacket,
Clever.
jacket,
I will say, the jacket.
jacket, jean jacket, the denim jacket, they're all the same jacket.
My outerwear. My special thing. Super clever.
With a hood or a belt or a sleeveless one. Doesn't count, that's a vest called
Oh,
a
scene.
shirt.
Oh, shit. All right, sorry. I'm going to start it over because I didn't punch the scene, and that's the whole freaking thing here. Stand by. God dang, Bobo. Stand by, stand by. Because it was my last song, and I'm getting old, and I'm just, what the fuck-cocking. Okay, I'm going to play it again from the beginning because, yeah, this is the thing. All right, here we go. And I also like the cheesiness of the arrangements and stuff. It's musical, but it matches.
Jacket, smoky jacket, full metal
Big fat
jacket, black
snare.
jacket, leather jacket, varsity jacket, it's Brock's jacket, puffy jacket, bulletproof jacket, Trek jacket, woolen jacket, dungaree jacket, jean jacket, the denim jacket, they're all the same jacket. My outerwear, my special coat, without a tan jacket, are everywhere. With a hood or a belt or a sleeveless one. Doesn't count, that's a vest called a jerk gun. A 2, 3, 4.
Hey, you notice you put it for the clap, to the deep drums.
Jacket, tuxedo jacket, an Eisenhower jacket, Nehru jacket, satin jacket, riding.
I think they hit every jacket in the book.
Jacket, welding jacket, a child jacket, a driving jacket, reversible jacket, members only jacket, a padded a jacket, fringe jacket, double-breasted jacket.
These guys put a lot of time in the animation on this too, guys. Got kind of an Adam Ant vibe. A little bit of a Weird Al Yankovic. That'd be great for a porn star's name. Weird Al Wankovic. I don't know. What a great track. What a perfect track to end the stream in. I guess the Venture Bros must have been a show or something like that on Adult Swim. I'm familiar with Adult Swim. I never spent a lot of time watching it or anything like that. The track was really super campy, but I thought it was really super clever. If you really think about how much material there is to write out there if you don't take yourself seriously and you're going for the entertainment value. A song about jackets, really? But it was done well, because if you stop and you think about it, that's a shit ton of jackets. Just saying. Anyhow, guys, listen, thank you so much for going on this short journey with me on the Dono makeups. For those of you that I mentioned earlier, Coral Reefer, Tonto Corazon, Skeletank, and Senorui, you guys did drop something in today, but we're going to push those for Friday. Thanks. I know this was nice and early. I wanted to get this handled. This is a long week for me. 2 of my grandkids' birthday. My birthday is this week, and I'm just, the family wants to do something. The office wants to do something. The business. I'm just all over the map. Maybe I'll come in and play a little if I don't have enough substance in my system. Maybe on Thursday I'll come in and knock around some Skyrim. Maybe do a Skyrim birthday hack run. I don't know. So yeah, Thursday. I'm an old fart. I'm older fart. Anyhow, listen, thank you guys so much for hanging out. And maybe I'll do the Skyrim stream. I think that would be, maybe I'll do Skyrim, and then maybe I'll put an album behind it or something. We'll listen to it. I don't know. We'll see what the vibes are, because I might be completely intoxicated in somebody's house. Yes, I'm an old man, 1 a.m. I can always count on your support, for verifying that I am an old fart.